Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Jodo Cast, your Star Wars gaming podcast. This is episode 101, and I think the whole 100 spiel will get old after this point, but still, 101. I mean, besides being a number associated with Dalmatians, is not unimpressive. And we thank you for being here with us. My name is Evan Lewis. I am, of course, joined by Leo Andry. And Joe Latovsky.
Hey!
Yeah, I thought there was more coming. I thought you were going to see like, Hey Jude, or Good Morning Vietnam, something along those lines. But okay, doesn't matter. Whatever I think, clearly doesn't matter. But what matters to us, the opinions that matter, are the patrons who keep this whole train moving. If you would like to find out how to become one of the best people on the face of the earth, you can go to patreon.com/thejodocast and see how these marvelous people help us and the ways that we say thank you to them. If you want to find a link for that, as well as links to all of our other social media, especially our Discord server, which is full of amazing people all the time, go to jodocast.com and you can just follow the different paths in the road to your heart's content. And while you're there, leave us some feedback with the feedback link at the top. I think I managed to make that the most concise it's ever been.
Woohoo!
I thought so. Yes, applause for me. I deserve praise. But is that the sound of one hand clapping?
Against another hand, yes.
Oh, independent hands. So let's make this quick, since we're moving right along, and talk about what we have been playing. I will start. Not a lot of Star Wars stuff, although I did get to play with some of those fancy new contrast paints that are releasing around the time that you would have heard this episode. Probably they've already come out, and I am super excited to talk about that, but that's for the future. So, since I haven't done jack of anything, let's talk to Leo.
I been still playing Legion. We're finishing. We're in the middle of our escalation league right now, and locally, and just played in hyperspace trial for X-Wing here last weekend. Didn't do great. I didn't do bad. I went 2 and 3, which was all right, I suppose, but. That was that.
And is that for you then?
Yeah.
Okay. Joe, I'll bet you've played some of everything.
Ooh, well... no. I have played Legion.
You haven't played anything?
No, I've played stuff, but you assumed I had played everything, which is not true.
I mean, last time it was like, what haven't I played?
Since we last recorded, I've played a lot of Battlefront 2, which is still mostly fun most of the time. I've played Legion. Our Legion League just finished up, and somehow I took second place, even though I missed 2 weeks of the 6-week league. Although one of the weeks I missed, I had the bye, and another week I missed, I got a loss. I ended up 4 and 2, which I guess was second place, because of strength of schedule and stuff.
I mean, that's not a bad record anyways.
I feel like it just felt weird that I got second place and I wasn't there for 2 weeks of the league. But that's how it was.
I guess all the other guys in your league just should be less terrible.
I think there was a few other 4 and 2s.
Or they can keep being terrible, and Joe can be climbing the ladder.
I have some sort of weird reputation in our league that I'm really good at Legion, and I don't understand that because I'm not.
It's because you have a podcast. That's why.
People are like, "Oh, I gotta play Joe," and I'm like, "Don't have that attitude. You'll be fine. I'm not that good."
That's going to be our next T-shirt. Challenge Joe. Ask me how.
Just
I feel
Joe,
like I've
Joe with like little Legion minis, and it says "Come at me, bro."
I quit if we make that shirt. If you want to make me quit, just make that shirt.
A shirt with words.
I feel like I've played X-Wing, but maybe it has been after our last episode. But it just feels like I've played X-Wing because a new video came out yesterday of me playing X-Wing, and I've watched it, and so now it kind of feels like that was more recent than it actually was, because, you know, these things get recorded weeks before they come out on YouTube. So if you want to watch me play X-Wing, go to our YouTube channel. I think it's a pretty good video. Lots of stupid Game of Thrones references. I picked up a new game. I haven't played it yet. I picked up Escape the Death Star.
I almost bought that last night.
For whatever reason, so 1977, first Star Wars board game came out, Escape the Death Star, and now there's like a new copy of it at Target for $20. I haven't actually opened it yet, but as far as I can tell, it looks exactly identical to the original printing, except it comes with a vintage-looking Tarkin action figure, which bugs me.
As far as I can tell, that's the only reason anybody's buying it, because from what I've read, the game was never very good.
I bought it because I collect Star Wars board games, but the figure annoys me because I can't sell it, because then my box will look dumb because there's a little window on the front where Tarkin lives. But I don't want it, because why do I need a Tarkin figure? And it doesn't add anything to the game. So it's just kind of like a stupid piece, but...
Hey, I've got my 90s Escape from the Death Star with both its action figures still in it.
Oh, I didn't know there was one from the 90s.
Yeah, Parker Brothers.
Is it the same game?
I honestly don't know. I've never opened it. It's still sitting on my shelf, all closed up with it. Came with Luke in his Stormtrooper armor and Darth Vader, both with lightsabers.
Yeah, this game looks identical to the original, except for the action figure. Except there's like weathering, like wear and tear printed on the box, so it looks older than it is. But nowhere on the outside of the packaging, maybe it's there in the rule book or something, does it mention that this is a game originally published in 1977. It's not like, it's the anniversary reprint or something. Which is weird. Someone's going to buy it and be like, this game is ass. But it's more tolerably ass if you know it's like this relic that you're just playing because you don't have the 1977 copy. I don't know. I'm happy to pick it up. I like having these games in my collection. And I think Outer Rim comes out tomorrow as we record this, so I'll probably have that and have played it by the time anyone listens to this.
And we should expect a video for that.
I'm definitely planning a video review. Mm-hmm. Depending on the length of the game, that'll determine how feasible I think it is to make a gameplay video. Just because my camera sucks.
Yeah. Well, if that's all, we'll move on. I'm not going to do that the whole time, I promise. But, moving on to the big news. E3 just wrapped up. And in the spirit of E3, we are going to talk about all the video game stuff. Both.
That relates to Star Wars.
Well, yes, that relates to Star Wars. Although I think we could just talk about Breath of the Wild sequel, but we won't do that.
I couldn't.
That's fine.
You're gonna.
Boy. No. Boy. So, first up.
That's where they're going to get the Red Dead inspiration. Link is just going to refer to his horse as boy. That's a good boy.
Epona, you're a good boy. I don't know if Epona's in Breath of the Wild or not.
Does
Epona keep getting
you can name your
resurrected
horses.
too?
You can name your horses whatever you want.
Okay.
Does it have a profanity filter?
So I had one name. I had a white horse, the fastest white horse you can get, the fastest one in the game. His name was Shadowfax. And then the biggest horse in the game you can get, I named Tom Hanks.
Because he's big?
Yes.
My naming conventions for horses in Red Dead Online is start typing random letters and see what the predictive text on the PlayStation keyboard suggests. So I had a horse named Umbakumba, which was the first thing it suggested when I typed in UM. I had a horse named Fecal, and my current horse is named Wikipedia.
Wow. That's... Okay.
Speaking of games without horses.
Yes. Fallen Order. Or
we haven't played it yet. There could be horses.
Yeah, there could be horses.
You never know.
Maybe there's.
You get to ride on an AT-AT at one point. That's like a horse.
That's like a
really
metal
big
horse. Yeah. So, Star Wars : Jedi : Fallen Order :
Star Wars.
I think it's Star Wars.
Star Wars Jedi : Fallen Order.
Yeah, there's only one colon.
You can't.
I know,
You can't
but
be
I think it's
putting
funnier.
extra colons in there.
I
buddy.
think it's funnier. The world agrees with me. It's funnier. So, we got a cinematic trailer a few weeks ago, and it looked fine. And now we've finally gotten gameplay trailer, and I think there was also some actual, not just a trailer chopped together. There was actually long form actual play.
Yeah, there was a gameplay trailer, and then there was like a 13-minute clip of like a gameplay demo.
And I guess my only thoughts on this, because it still has failed to really grab me, but for me the gameplay, I think some people will say like Dark Souls inspired, but for me it looks very Assassin's Creed, except for one time when you can see Cal crawling up the side of something and he like reaches out to get to the next point to jump to grab onto. It looked like that animation was taken straight out of Uncharted, so that made me kind of wonder, I wonder if they just lifted that from the Amy Hennig game and ported that over. But I know that's unlikely, just a coincidence. And I certainly had a fondness for games of that type, of Assassin's Creed and Uncharted. Puzzle solving, jumping around, climbing on things. And if they take advantage of that in this game, I think it could be fine. So
sounds like there's going to be a lot of exploring as a part of this game.
And I think that could really be what it needs, because mechanically it needs to shine. Story-wise, it could be fine.
The gameplay demo didn't really spark anything in me.
Yeah,
watching BD1 hop around is cute and fun, but
I didn't even like BD1, man. I honestly, I wish he was not in the game at all already.
It really, with that having a cute little droid companion, it really made me flash back to, Battlefront campaign, and not in a good way.
So the gameplay looked just kind of fine to me. The more I read about it and heard people who got to play it talk about it, that's when I got more excited about it.
Yeah, it feels
because it sounds like
the game people are describing, like in these articles and stuff they're writing, doesn't feel like the same game that we watched in that trailer at all. Really,
yeah.
It's and those articles interest me way more than that video did.
Same. It sounds like there's a lot more going on that you have to think about that you just don't see, because there's very little heads-up display elements in the game. There's no like counter indicators or things like that,
or radars or things like that, which I like. I'm very cool.
Yeah, there's no waypoint thing. They just put you on a planet and you just have to find where you got to go. You can talk to the droid and he brings up like a map of the area, but I think it like highlight places you've been, but there's no waypoint thing. There's multiple paths to find your objective.
And I like that the map is even like real time. Like you don't go to like a menu and look at a map. The droid just projects a hologram on the ground in front of you, and you look at that hologram. So like, but like stormtroopers could still run up and start shooting at you while you're doing that. So you can't just do it in the middle of a battle or something.
So there seem to be a number of mechanical things that, again, sound really good, and I think it really does need to shine there, because the overwhelming sentiment that I think we've gotten is that, and this is not a knock against the actor by any means, but the character of Cal seems incredibly boring. But we did see that a very not boring character is back, and that's Saw Gerrera, pre getting into bed with Bor Gullet.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like he hasn't quite gone off the deep end yet. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we already know that, because this would also be pre-Rebels. But yeah, I guess I read some bits about some more hints of like the actual story of the game, and it's like you meet up with this Jedi Master. Oh shoot, I can't remember her name off the top of my head now. But yeah, so she said she's going to mentor you and stuff, which we kind of already knew that. But some new information that we found out, at least new to me, was that she claims to know a way to bring back the Jedi Order. And so you're kind of on a quest with her to find whatever it is that she's looking for that will bring back the Jedi Order, which could be some interesting story. I know, like, I saw in one of the articles, they had some concept art of this really interesting, like, Sith-looking temple place.
And I certainly don't have any issue with, that sort of it's not really a problem. It's definitely become a trope of another group of Jedi that survived, and I wonder what's going to happen to these characters. Oh, they're probably all going to die because we don't see them later.
Yeah.
I think I'm fine with this.
But this is also early enough, I think, in the timeline that it doesn't feel quite as out of place as whereas like when you have just random Jedi Masters constantly popping up during the Galactic Civil War era,
Yes.
Like that always was kind of hokey there, but this is, like we said, this is only a few years after Order 66.
And especially if we get to see the Inquisitor Order in action, doing their job of finding remaining Jedi and putting them down, because we've never really gotten that. I don't think we got a tiny taste of that in some of the later Dark Horse Darth Vader comics of him hunting down Jedi. But
you should read the second run of Darth Vader. I don't know what it's called, Dark Lord or something.
Isn't it just Vader?
No, it's called Darth Vader something or other. There's a lot of Inquisitor stuff in those books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this the what is she? Is she the second sister?
Second sister. Yep.
Yeah, she does. That's her first appearance is in those comics.
Same with the Purge Troopers.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Anyone want to take bets on whether what's her name, Sari?
I think they pronounced it on Star Wars Show today. I think it's I already forgot. Syrah.
Anyways,
I don't know.
The Jedi Master
Cher.
that Cal finds.
I don't trust her.
Yeah, I was gonna say, should we take bets on whether she turns out to be the second sister or not?
Well, I would say no, she's not, because in the first trailer we got, Cal, her, and their little four-armed friend are in the cockpit of their ship while the second sister is on the outside of the ship.
And the second sister's on the.
You're
right.
I'm gonna make a bet. So, spoiler warning: if somehow I'm right and you're mad at me about being right, the second sister is Cal's old master, who he believes to be dead.
Sister.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You dropped out.
Oh.
Right?
I heard him the whole time.
Oh, did you? Okay.
He thinks his master's dead, but it turns out his master became an inquisitor, and it's the person who's been hunting him this whole time. Also, I'm going to go ahead and call it that Cal's lightsaber later in the game becomes a double-bladed lightsaber.
I wonder if it's going to be one of those things, if that's just an upgrade you can get.
Maybe. They said that you can customize the look of your ship. It's technically not Cal's ship, it's What's-Her-Face's ship. But you can change the colors of the ship. I think you can change the colors of BD-1. You can change Cal's outfit, and you can customize the lightsaber with different colors. But, yeah, I've got a feeling... I mean, it looks like, it got torn in half or something, if it were a double-bladed lightsaber originally, so...
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm getting more interested in the story. I'm still not interested in Cal at all, but I'm interested in where the story might go. I got a feeling Saw is only going to be around for basically what we've seen in the demo. He's going to be around for that level, and that's it. And that's fine.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You always got to have the established character cameo.
Yeah. And there's going to be a couple more, I think they said. Probably not as many as in Battlefront 2, but I think we're going to see a few other familiar faces. I'm just wondering how familiar we're talking. I'd like to see characters that maybe only show up in the comics, or like what if Afra showed up? That'd be awesome. But if Yoda shows up, no. I'm sure we'll see Vader at least once, which makes sense, but...
I would like to see him, maybe in a cutscene talking to the second sister or whatever, maybe. But I hope he doesn't actually show up as,
a boss.
A boss or something in the game.
I'd like to see the Grand Inquisitor. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or Thrawn, maybe. I don't know. Thrawn's probably not doing anything important at this point. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to the story for pretty much everything that will be revolving around Cal. What if Cal just... It occurred to me, after watching a Polygon video, Cal should have a mustache. Cal should have something that makes him...
A big fluffy mustache?
Like a 70s mustache, because he's in Star Wars. Or, a scar, or a dumb haircut. He just looks really boring to me. I'm still bored of him.
I still think I'll still take him over Dash Rendar or Starkiller.
Starkiller had more going on.
Starkiller had nothing going on.
He had plenty going on.
Starkiller was a wet noodle with a lightsaber.
What? No.
I've got a feeling that after
game.
we finish Fallen Order, Cal will have a lot more emotional depth than Starkiller.
Yeah.
Starkiller was, all right, I'll do the bad stuff for you. That's a cute girl. That's my other emotion. I mean, I love Sam Witwer, and I pick Starkiller over Cal at this point in time, but that's about it. He's like, I do bad stuff. I like this girl, and that's kind of about it. Oh no, I feel bad because the bad people did bad things to me, and I didn't think they would. Maybe I'll be good now. But mostly girl. Maybe Cal will grow a mustache as the game goes.
Maybe that's part of being able to customize your outfit.
Yeah.
You can customize your mustache.
There is... It's not like RPG-y. I doubt there will be dialogue options, but you can wander around your ship, talk to the people on your ship, interact with things on the ship. The ship is where you have to go to spend your skill points and change your outfits and stuff. You can't just do that anywhere. You gotta go back to your ship and rest to do it. And And go to your ship is where you can look at the galaxy map and revisit planets you've already been to and go to new places. So it's very kind of KOTOR-y in that regard, that your ship is kind of like a hub that you can walk around and talk to people. And apparently there's also going to be areas that you can go to that aren't going to be like combat areas. You'll just be able to like kind of walk around and explore and like talk to NPCs and stuff. I think I heard that somewhere.
Am I the only one who thinks that the lightsaber burn marks look incredibly silly?
I think they look weird. I think it would look weird without them too, though.
Yeah, I mean, it would, but at the same time, it's like when you swing your lightsaber around and you go right through a Purge Trooper's midsection, and now he has this glowing ring all the way around his waist. It just looks dumb.
At least, I don't know. I don't mind it. Obviously, we all know I wanted there to be dismemberment, which there isn't. Confirmed not. They said they needed to not do it to get their T rating. You can dismember droids and animals, but not people.
Were you one of those people crying on Twitter about how, oh, this is the worst game ever, there's no dismemberment?
No. But I think it, like in Battlefront, it feels like, because they don't leave marks on people, it looks like they're hitting them with the police baton from Futurama. And I think the burn marks on them from the lightsaber is like a decent in between dismemberment. At least reminds me that I'm making contact with them with more than just like a nightstick. It does look a little funny though. Like I think there's a move where it looked like he should have cut a guy in half at the waist, but there's just like a new bright glowing belt on him.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious if Cal, because I mean, this is a thing.
Of course, it's all just like alpha graphics and
Right.
stuff like that, so that stuff can definitely change.
They can like tweak the
before the game
intensity
comes
of it,
out.
or how what determines whether that's going to go on there or not. I want to know if it'll be explored if Cal cares that he's killing lots of people. I think that's something that I just think about when you're playing as a Jedi and he's just going on these rampages, gutting people.
I just, in general, am really annoyed with the fact that the game is set when it is, and kind of initially they sort of like made a big deal in the marketing about how like, ooh, he's got to keep his secret that he's a Jedi. And here, when we find out what the gameplay is going to be, it's literally just you running everywhere with a lightsaber, brandishing it, being as show-offy as possible.
Yeah, they said there's no stealth. You don't have to sneak around. I guess like he's doing all of that stuff they were like marketing up until the start of the game, and then at that point he's like, well, no point in keeping this thing turned off.
I wish you at least had the option. Like, apparently, so I've heard that the gameplay for Cyberpunk 2077 maybe isn't the greatest, but one thing that I think is really cool is apparently you can beat that entire game without injuring a single person.
Like,
if you do it right.
Deus Ex Human Revolution. You could play through that whole game in stealth and not kill anybody.
Or Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3.
Yeah, but even there, you have to like. Well,
I think.
I guess I don't know if they're considering like stunning other people or whatever. But yeah,
that would be a really cool option to have in a game when you play as a Jedi, because then you could be like, okay, I'm actually going to be like a legit Jedi, and I don't want to run around and just needlessly slaughter all these people. If I don't have to.
It should be like once you pull out your lightsaber, okay, now you can you're using your lightsaber, but like the resistance to you becomes more intense. Like there's more dudes that then you get Purge Troopers coming after you or whatever. You should have the option to like try and keep it hidden and minimize like how often Purge Troopers show up and shit like that.
I
think
so
that
like
would be
like
way
a
more
like
neater.
a GTA mechanic.
Yeah,
even,
heat. Using your lightsaber gives you more heat.
I even just want an
There you
option where maybe if you run into some stormtroopers, you can try and either mind trick them or threaten them. Like, this isn't going to end well for you guys. Please don't. I don't want to kill you. And then maybe they run away. Most of the time they won't. And then you kill them. And at least I feel like I tried to resolve this the nice way. Obviously, I'm going to have a lot of fun gutting stormtroopers, but it sometimes feels disconnected with what the character should be as a Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm also curious to actually get my hands on the game to actually try out the combat. Like I said, it looked really kind of straightforward and boring from the videos, but descriptions made it seem more nuanced.
Yeah,
so.
like you hold the button if you just want to deflect lasers willy-nilly. You have to tap the button precisely to deflect lasers back at people. You have to like time it really good. It sounds like there's a lot of timing and keeping an eye on what the enemy's doing and dodging and parrying, which, there's a lot of other games have that sort of stuff. But it does sound a lot more finessey than what it looks like.
It sounds like it's the combat at least sounds more like it's a little bit more related.
Yeah, it's not
to like a Dark Souls or like Sekiro.
Yeah.
Rather than say like Force Unleashed, where you just run around swinging your lightsaber like a madman.
Right. Yeah. It did sound Dark Soulsy, but like less punishing.
Intense.
But they did say there's difficulty levels. You can play it where you're...
Dark Souls for babies.
They said you can play it if you just, any Star Wars fan should be able to play this game, so they have a difficulty where you probably can't die at all. And then I'm sure you'll be able to crank it up, so it probably does feel pretty Dark Soulsy. And the health mechanic sounds Dark Soulsy. You don't regen health. You heal by he snaps.
But you have your...
The droid heals you. You push up on the D-pad, and the droid, he snaps his fingers, and the droid gives him a little health canister he plunges into his shoulder. But you only get 2 of them, and you don't replenish that until you return to your ship between missions. So it's a very sparse commodity being able to heal yourself.
What if you accidentally put some death sticks in there?
Well, at least, I'm glad there's no, hiding behind crates while you wait for your health.
Also, in the gameplay demo, for that demo, there was, unlimited force power. In the actual game, your force doesn't recharge either until, you clear a section of enemies. I don't know if it's either per enemy you kill, the force comes back, or, after you clear a section. So if you run in, you blow, 4 force powers right away, now you're just stuck without force powers until the end of the fight. So you also have to think very hard about when you want to use your force abilities and when you want to just sit there and, work it out with your lightsaber. So I think that sounds cool too. So it's definitely not Force Unleashed where the force powers are the whole thing. What do you guys think about Force Slow? He has Force Pull, he has Force Push, and he also has, which is unique to Cal, Force Slow, where... It's not what I originally thought. I thought it was just him moving really quickly and everything looked slow. It's literally... It's like what Kylo Ren does at the beginning of Force Awakens, but not as good.
I
don't know. He was able to... Didn't he stop a blaster bolt in this trailer, grab a guy, and put him in front of it?
Right, he didn't stop it. It's still moving very slowly. And so is the guy he affected. He, puts a person into slow motion and blaster bolts that are around them kind of go into slow motion.
As long as I can pull that trick off many times in a game, I'll probably be happy with that.
That looked really cool. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to make you shoot yourself, even though you're in front of the blast you just shot. That was pretty cool.
Sounds like a Picard maneuver right there.
It is kind of.
At this moment, I feel like the game has a lot of promise, and I'm sure they're crunching like crazy to try and knock out all this stuff. Because another thing I heard, almost every enemy in the game can be one hit killed if you like approach them the right way and like time things right, but it's like very tricky. Like the big spiders on Kashyyyk, if you don't sneak up on them or get them just right, you're going to have a long fight with them. But if you do kind of get the right sneak and the right button push timing, you can one hit kill them. And the same goes for like most of the other enemy types. And I think they said that they're trying to get every enemy type in the game to have this kind of one hit kill that's, you got to kind of know how to do it for each enemy. But that's something they might not finish in time. So it sounds like they're crunching hard to get this all wrapped up before, when does it even come out? September? November? I think it's November.
Yeah, November sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds right. Go with that.
Seems like we should know that.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I remember hearing it, so I'm just going to make something up.
I'm definitely a lot more excited about the game than I was at Celebration.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm still skeptical, definitely, but it has the potential to at least be better than the campaign from Battlefront 2. Actually, I would say it probably will be better than the campaign from Battlefront 2.
Already, they have the one thing you keep complaining about in our commentary series is that it's very, very, very linear. And it sounds like this game is going to be not linear at all. You'll have choices on paths, and you could have to use your little map. And you can't just use your map anywhere because it doesn't pause the game to bring up your map, so you got to make sure you're in a safe spot.
I'm sad that it sounds like you'll only be able to run on certain walls. You can't just run on whatever walls you want.
That's kind of like a lot of games, I guess. They said that, you'll learn to like understand the visual language of which walls can be wall run on.
Oh, well.
I wonder if holding your lightsaber next to an object or slashing a wall will leave the marks in the wall. I would hope so, because like Battlefront 2 lightsaber combat can do that, and obviously Jedi Academy would do that if you just walked along the wall with your lightsaber touching it.
Well, I don't know an answer to that one, but we do know that we also get a tie-in comic.
Yeah, that was,
and
I guess, not surprising.
So far, the only thing that I know about it is that Master Braytak is in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you guys to explain that one.
Just the one old dude on the cover looks like a character from the Stargate SG-1 TV show.
Yeah, the comic is about Sari, his new teacher lady, her and her Jedi Master sometime in the past doing something.
That's very descriptive.
They're on some Jedi mission to some weird temple.
Jedi business.
Yep. Wonder,
cutting off arms.
Oh,
taking law into our own hands.
That's what's really going to bug Cal, because growing up, when the Jedi were at their peak, he could just run around, kick people in the balls, and be like, Jedi business. And they'd be like, oh, all right. And now he can't do that anymore. He's lost that Jedi business privilege.
Oh, Jedi privilege. So, do we have any other thoughts on Fallen Order?
The Wookiees look like shit.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I think I remember Force Unleashed had good Wookiees.
I don't remember that. But, like I said, this is still...
Yeah.
They're still in alpha, so there's definitely time for them to improve or clean up some of those graphics, so...
Because we all know how important Chewbacca is for selling video games.
It looks... I'm not even cautiously optimistic. I'm just standard levels of optimistic. I still have, I'm not like, oh, this is going to be the best game ever, because it could possibly not be. But I'm looking forward to it.
But would you say you're going to pre-order this one when that time arrives?
Probably.
I know Leo won't.
See, my problem is I'm just trying to figure out what platform I want to get it on. I'll probably get it on Xbox. But I'll probably end up pre-ordering it. I'm sure there'll be some stupid bonus that I'll use once and then put away. I think there
an exclusive cloak.
I think there's like an outfit. Maybe they haven't confirmed that. Maybe I'm just making things up. I thought I heard that the like deluxe edition just has like an outfit in the pre-order. I don't know. I'll probably pre-order it. I shouldn't. I understand that, but I will. Because it's a Star Wars game.
Well, and I'm sure it'll also be included in the current EA service packages on the different platforms as well, with X many days lead up time compared to everybody else. And I certainly fell for that with the Battlefronts, but
Joe, if you do pre-order, you get an orange lightsaber blade, a BD1 skin, a Megito campaign hilt, and an Umbaran campaign hilt to customize your lightsaber with. You also get a custom or a Crimson BD1 skin, no skin for the Crimson Mantis, a digital art book, and a director's cut behind the scenes videos when you order the deluxe edition.
Well, see, I mean, I'm going to buy the Art of Jedi Fallen Order book when it comes out, which is one of those big coffee table books like the ones they've been putting out for the films. So I don't need the little deluxe edition art book because I'm going to get the real deal. And I'll be buying the game digitally anyways. But those Crimson BD skins, I like the sound of that.
I don't know. These days, if it doesn't come with a soundtrack, I am far less interested. And I certainly expect this one to have some original songs.
Oh yeah, I think Gordy Hobb is doing the music.
Yes, that's the name I was trying to think of.
He does like the best I'm pretending to be John Williams and I'm amazing at it music.
John Williams pastiche.
I think he did the music for Battlefront and Battlefront 2, the newer ones.
SWOTOR.
Did he do... It's good. It'll be good music, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I wish that they would put out, an album, even if it's like,
it's
5...
November 15th, by the way.
November 15th.
Just throwing that out there.
Great. But yeah, okay. I do wish that they would, if there's new Star Wars music available, make, even if it's like 5-6 tracks, original pieces for this game, like put that out, make that available. I would pay some money to get that.
I'd buy the CD.
Some extra money.
I have the new movies CD soundtracks because I put them in my car for like a month after the movie comes out, and then because the car is the only place I have a CD player.
Actually, that pre-order BD skin looks pretty cool.
Drop a link in the Patrons Lounge because I want to see it.
Drop a link.
Patrons Lounge.
Just a second.
Yeah, drop it. All right. So I think, unless there's anything else.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if we need to talk about this pre-order bonuses and deluxe edition any more than we already have. But last chance.
Nah.
And then we're going to talk about the big surprise. At least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I will let. So yeah, if patrons can take a look, we're dropping some mad info into Patron Lounge right now, so you can join in the conversation if you're a patron over there. But we are going to move on and talk about the biggest, the bestest, the Lego Skywalker Saga, all 9 saga films in Lego form.
Because they debuted the trailer at the Xbox thing, and I was like, I heard the Star Wars music, and it's not a long time ago. I'm like, what? A new Star Wars game? And then I saw the Lego ships, and I was like, I'm so excited about this. Because Matt Wood kind of let slip that they were working on a Lego game back at Celebration, so we've all been like waiting for that to come out, and I was expecting it might just be a Lego The Last Jedi or Lego Rogue One or something, but it's the 9 Saga films all in one game. And that's really exciting. Because the older games, as amazing as they are, they're pretty dated now.
Yeah. Do you think
as we found out?
Do you think we're gonna end up getting like, is it gonna be a huge game, or is each one of the films gonna end up being like really condensed?
I feel like it's gonna be really big. I feel like each movie won't be as big as Lego The Force Awakens was really big, and I feel like each movie will be smaller than that. But in, Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy.
I was gonna say, but say compared to like the original trilogy one, or like the Clone Wars trilogy one. Or
I feel like it's gonna feel like 3 games worth of stuff for like lengthwise per thing. Maybe they'll skip some like levels that the original Lego Star Wars games had because they have more content and they don't need you to do some weird little side thing that got kind of shoehorned in. But I don't think the stories will feel condensed. I got a hunch you'll spend a lot of time on each movie.
I will say I was really excited when we watched the trailer, specifically because in the stuff we saw, the Lego guys only talked in little grunts and the weird noises that they would make. And then now today, I just found out that no, the game's gonna be like fully voiced.
Yeah, I saw
that. Sounds like
I felt the same way. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going back to the mumbles. I think the Lego Harry Potter games were the last Lego games to not be voiced, and I always feel like that was the game that made them decide to start voicing, because there's so many like story elements in the Harry Potter movies that it looked like it was really hard for them to convey through mumbles, because they'll like pick up pictures and like start pointing at little pictures of stuff.
See, but that's like the best parts of the game, is when they do that.
I agree, because it feels like, oftentimes being constricted in what you're allowed to do inspires more creativity and humor in this case. I've missed the Lego mumbles, and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter have been very sad that it's going to be fully voiced. Even Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars had the mumbles voiced by the Clone Wars actors. Like, they got James Arnold Taylor and Matt Lanter to just go,
maybe that's what they mean by fully voiced.
It could be.
They have like Harrison Ford. They got Harrison Ford to just go.
That would be sweet. Lego the Force Awakens Lego. I think that was the first, maybe only video game Harrison Ford has ever actually done. And it did get Harrison Ford to say the words like, "We gotta get those Wookiee cookies," because that was one of the objectives in a level. And Lego Force Awakens was good, and the voice acting was good when there was original stuff, like, because they had the original cast doing it, so they could add in new lines and little jokes. Games like, I think, Lego Lord of the Rings just uses the dialogue from the movies, so all the gags have to be like visual things. And it stands out really weird because it's just the movie recordings. I don't know. If they're recording new voices, it'll probably be a lot better than if they're just using the movie dialogue. But in any case, I'm very excited about this game.
Yeah, I'm still excited, but the voice thing tamped my excitement a little bit.
And one of the things I was wondering, because Lego The Force Awakens is such a big chunk of content, I was curious if they were going to like redo that or use that, because if they just used what they already made, that feels lazy. But if they redo it, that feels weird because they already have this like great experience built already. But they are building the whole thing from the ground up with new technology.
Well, and they'll want the experience to feel consistent.
Right.
I think, because like when you and I were doing the stream and recording of the prequels, it was fun, but mechanically, it was pretty rough in some places.
Lego The Force Awakens was far and away the best of the Lego games I've played, and I've played all the Star Wars ones and a few of the Marvel ones and the Harry Potter ones. And Lego Force Awakens is super good. So if they just take that and make it even better, because it says they've got a new Force system, which will be interesting, because up until now in all the games, the Force is just either hold the button to use the Force to build a thing, or hold the button to lift something up and then use the thumbstick to like move it to where it needs to be. So I'm wondering if there'll be anything more than that if there's a new system.
It's Lego Force Unleashed. You can actually explode the blocks.
But yeah, that's basically all we know about this game. I'm really excited.
But no comic tie-in, sadly. And we got a question from patron, the Beard 1808. Do we know the platforms?
All of them.
I think all of them. Easy answer.
Oh. Probably not Wii U. I think it's Switch, Xbox One, PS4, PC.
If it was being put out by Ubisoft, it would probably also still be on the Wii. Not even the Wii U, the Wii. You'd need Wii Motion Plus in order to stab Han Solo.
or you know what? If all you have is a Wii U, why not just buy a Switch? Because they're pretty awesome. I'm
wondering if Han dying in The Force Awakens Lego is going to be funnier. Because when the Lego The Force... when Lego The Force Awakens came out, that was very shortly after the movie came out. And so Han's death was still kind of a raw thing in a lot of fans' minds. So when they were writing that for the Lego game, they like had to balance it sort of being serious, but it's Lego, so they kind of have to make it funny. So I wonder if they'll like crank it up to be sillier in this version, because it can be funny now. Because it's not like a fresh wound.
Yeah, I was trying to think of ways that they could make it funny, and I could see that.
All of the Lego TV shows are voiced like Droid Tales and Freemaker Adventures, and they're really funny. So I think as long as it's all brand new dialogue where they can make new jokes, it should be good. But this is something a lot more charming about them being mumbly.
Mm-hmm. Well, and yeah, talking about fully voiced versus mumbles, I think all of the Lego films have sort of set that expectation, at least for a certain audience. Like, we prefer mumbles, but I think that the target demographic probably, they've decided, the suits decided that the target demographic would probably rather have voices. So
my first Lego game had voices and mumbles, sort of. It was called Lego Loco. It was, I don't know what you want to call it. It was like a top-down RTS type view, but you just build little cities and make train tracks go around, and people will start coming out of your buildings and riding your trains. And you could click on the people, and it would show up, it like enlarge them, and you'd see the minifigure and who they were and like what their job was. And they would say stuff to you, and they'd have moods, like if the train wasn't running by their house, they'd get mad. And they didn't mumble, but they spoke a weird language that wasn't English. And I distinctly remember we had to get our mom to like call the support number in the back of like the CD-ROM case to be like, how do we get this to speak English? Because they're obviously speaking a different language. And they explained that they're speaking Legoese. They're like, no, you guys are dumb. That's just how they sound. And I still remember like the angry fireman noises. He'd be like, I don't know why. I always remember what the Lego fireman sounds like when he's angry in Lego Loco. That's a good game. There's like secret stuff. If you put two radar dishes together, it'd create a space shuttle, which wasn't a building you would normally be able to build. And if you built the phone booth, the train conductor would go in and come out as like a superhero.
All right. Anything else on Lego Skywalker Saga? I'm sure Joe could go on and on. So, Leo, do you have anything else?
No.
Excellent. Okay, Joe, do you have anything else? Oh. All right. Then let's talk about the limited run editions of games.
I'd never heard of this company.
What is this? Yes, Leo, what is this?
Well, first explain what limited run is. I'd never heard of this company before this announcement.
So, limited run is a company that puts out limited runs of games.
Like new games, old games?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
Yep. I mean, sometimes they are re-releasing old games.
But
sometimes they re-release or they will release like games that were like a digital download only. They will put out a physical edition of those games. And so what they're going to be doing in the Star Wars context is they're going to be releasing a whole host of old classic games, and most of them on their original platforms. So the first two that are going to be coming out is going to be Star Wars.
Do they have extra stuff to it, or is it just like a nice physical copy? Like, do they have new, like an art book or a little?
It depends. It depends. We can't say until they haven't released any more information. But sometimes they're just like, here's the game. Other times they're like, here's the game in a really cool collector's package with collector's stuff.
Got it.
We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they'll do both. You can either just get the game or you can get the more collector's edition. But I know the other thing is, like they said, like as the name implies, it's a limited run. They usually only release a few thousand copies, and then when they're gone, they're gone. But the first two that are going to be coming out is going to be Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Unfortunately, they will not be releasing that on its original platform. That's instead going to release on the PS4,
which I'm happy
is still cool.
Because I actually own Bounty Hunter on PS2, but I don't have a way to play it. I think technically you can download Bounty Hunter on PS4, but whatever. If this has a cool collector's edition, I'm all in.
And then Star Wars, which they're going to be releasing an NES cartridge and a Game Boy cartridge, which is pretty amazing. We're going to get Dark Forces on the PC, Episode 1 Racer for PC and N64. I already own that cartridge, so don't need that one.
What if it has a cool collector case that really...
then I might have to throw away a bunch of money. We'll see.
So wizard.
Empire Strikes Back on the NES and Game Boy, Jedi Knight on the PC, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy, all on the PC. Star Wars Racer Revenge is going to release for PS4. They'll be re-releasing Rebel Assault on the PC, Shadows of the Empire on PC and N64, and then lastly, TIE Fighter and X-Wing on the PC.
So all these PC ones, are they going to ship them with just a CD?
Most likely, yeah. The first two, Bounty Hunter, we'll find out more very shortly here. So we'll be seeing Bounty Hunter and Star Wars supposedly on June 28th, according to their blog post. So that's, less than 2 weeks away here.
Yeah.
Or slightly more than 2 weeks.
Oh, man, they have a Psychonauts on PS4?
Yeah. They are going to... Now, they did say that they're going to be releasing the LucasArts games in elaborate collector's edition packages. So that means we could be getting more than just a copy of the game. But like I said, we'll just kind of have to wait and see what we get when the time comes.
Yeah, they better get on that, because I need to... As soon as they announce that Bounty Hunter one, I'm probably going to be all over it.
But yeah, there's a few other ones. There's also some other LucasArts games like Secret of Monkey Island, which that's pretty cool. I might throw some money that way too. We'll see.
Yeah, and I'm looking on their store. It looks like they're all between like $30 and $60, unless it's like a collector's edition. Then they're around 70, 90. Looks like it varies a lot depending on platform and stuff.
And content, yeah.
Neat. I think it'd be weird if they sell the PC ones with just the disc, though, because most people don't even have an optical drive in their computers these days.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought you meant the 3.5-inch floppies.
Yeah, I want X-Wing to come on 5 floppy disk. I've still got my X-Wing floppy disks.
Of course you do.
I was
going to say, how many were there for each game?
There was 5 or 6 for
5
X-Wing.
or 6? Okay.
I mean, I do own games that I just have that I can't play. Like I said, I have Bounty Hunter on PS2. I've got a couple N64 games and an old Xbox game lying around that I don't have means to play. And I have a VHS Star Wars board game that I don't.
Wow.
Although the entirety of the VHS is on YouTube. If I ever get around to playing it, I'll just do that.
Strangely, the VHS tape for the Dragon Strike board game is not on YouTube. Do you remember that, Leo?
Yes, vaguely.
Oh
See, that only works for VHS games. DVD games on YouTube doesn't work so well. Because a lot of those DVD games, you'd have to push a button and it would go to a different part of the menu. Like,
yeah.
Need to upload those to make a Flash player.
Or just
Newgrounds, it's gone.
Every single clip to a channel, and then on each video you have links out to each of those other videos.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Somebody made I think somebody did like a choose your own adventure thing on
choose
YouTube.
your own adventure? Yeah.
Where it's just crazy number of branching videos. No, there's a trivia game. I don't remember which trivia game, but it'd have the 4 answers and you'd click and then it would go to a different video whether you got it right or not. It was weird. It was a lot of effort. But yeah, I'd never heard of this company, and I'm definitely most excited about Bounty Hunter because Django and PS4.
It was a cool game back in its day,
I only played half of it. I bought it in college, years after it had originally come out. Because my roommate had the cool PS3 that could play PS2 games. And I gave up about halfway through because there was a really hard part. And I kept dying, and after you die 3 times, it made you start the whole level over. And I was like, I'm going to go outside.
I wonder what kind of packaging these games are going to come in, like the PC games. Are they going to come, when you do actually buy a physical PC game these days, they're in the tiny little box. They're in a thick a box you'd get when you buy a DVD box set of a season of a TV show or whatever. So yeah. They tend to come in but in the 90s you got these big honking boxes, and I kind of hope they come in the old school style, just big huge boxes for me to put up on display on a shelf.
That's just what I was going to say. Those were great display pieces.
Well, I mean, that's really what this seems to all be. It's just kind of collector stuff.
Yeah, because I already own basically all of these games, except I don't have the NES and Game Boy cartridges of either Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back. But otherwise, all the other games that are on PC, I own either digital copies or physical copies of them. But I all my PC games, I've thrown out the boxes and stuff at some point. Mm-hmm. And yeah, these are going to make really cool display pieces. Like I said, assuming or depending on what we're actually getting from it. So
yeah, maybe we'll find out about that Bounty Hunter one by the time this episode comes out, because it's only 2 weeks out. So, they got to give us some information soon. I don't know how they operate, but I feel like that's got to be any day now.
Yeah, when I saw there was news about Racer coming back, and I know a lot of other people, like some of our patrons in chat, got pretty excited, and I personally was really hoping for a remaster of Racer, and it occurs to me, like, if they were ever going to do, like, and this sounds like a bad idea on paper, but like a Mario Kart-esque Star Wars game, like if they just did Racer and just had all of the characters from all Star Wars as pilots, and they had their own pod racers, I would buy that. I think that'd be rad.
It'd be pretty wizard.
I think it'd be wizard as hell. And like when you won a race, it would say that you're so wizard.
That's the box quote there. It'll be wizard as hell.
Well, I think that would be a good like tattoo on like your chest. It just says wizard as hell.
So when you make your original racer in the game and they have the tattoo section, just wizard in like really thick, bold font you can put anywhere on your body.
It has to be in like a Surge soda font type thing. Like a very skateboardy 90s looking font.
Yes.
I was sort of hoping, though, that they were going to move more of these games to other platforms. Because, I mean, that's a thing that they do a lot. Is like they've like putting out older games on newer platforms, kind of. Like if you look in the list of other stuff they announced at E3, like they're bringing Turok 1 and 2 to the Switch as physical copies, which is cool. But could you imagine if you could get like Episode 1 Racer or Racer Revenge on the Switch?
Oh, that would be so good.
Yeah, which of these Star Wars ones are even changing platforms besides the ones on PS4?
I believe those are the only ones.
And technically, Bounty Hunter has been a PS4 title for, I don't know, a year or two now. They came out with like a bundle that had all these, like, a handful of Star Wars games from old PS2 that they redid for PS4. So I'm assuming that's what these are.
Well, we've got a couple more things to touch on before we get out of here, so we will stop talking about Limited Run, but I'm sure we'll come back to it in the future as we get closer to these popping out. Next up is the arcade cabinet for the Atari Star Wars game series, and this is the vector graphics, flying through the trench Star Wars game, the first one. And then I think the second one, The Return of the Jedi, was Battle of Hoth, almost certainly. I'm not sure what Return of the Jedi was, if it was just Death Star 2 battle. But these three have been made into an arcade unit that you can own for how much?
Looks like $500, which doesn't sound... I don't know how much arcade cabinets usually cost, but that doesn't sound terrible for an arcade machine.
Well, see, these guys, so they're also like super tiny.
Yeah, it's small. It's not something you'd see at the arcade. It's something you can fit in your home.
I was going to say, I mean, you can buy like these arcade 1-up cabinets at like Walmart for, I think generally they're like somewhere around $100 to $200. So this one's a little bit more than others, I think, but I also don't pay that much attention to them because I think they kind of seem like cheap-ass pieces of junk to me. So
yeah, I'm not interested, but it seems cool, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are, this arcade cabinet collecting is a big thing for a lot of people. And it's these original games that, maybe like all these other games we were just talking about are games that maybe someone hasn't played since they were a little kid and they want to get a chance to do that again. I think it's neat. I'm not interested in it at all. I'd try it if I saw it at the mall or something, but
it give you a reason to at least carry quarters around again and have your pockets jingle like back in the 90s.
Nope. this thing doesn't take quarters because it's just something you can turn on and use in your home.
I know, but you were saying, like, if this was in an arcade, I would play it.
There is
But yeah, no.
I think this original Star Wars game, like an actual original cabinet, there's one in a game store in the mall, but I've never seen it turned on, so it might just be a broken thing that sits there.
Yeah, they have one at the beercade here in Fargo.
Wow.
It doesn't look fun, but it looks like something I always feel obligated to play because, it's a Star Wars game.
Actually, the game itself isn't too bad. I mean, for the time, honestly, it was like, it's fine. Don't listen to Evan. It's fine.
No, at the time, yes, I'm sure it was amazing. Groundbreaking.
Even now, it's fine. I mean, I would rather play it than Battlefront 8.
You would rather get a root canal than play Battlefront, as long as insurance covered it.
Because I'm not as big of like the graphics, not the game graphics, but like the stickers on the outside of this cabinet, they look like they have taken good care to make it look like the original thing, but that also makes it look really cheap and crappy.
Yes. But things that are not cheap and crappy are old Xbox games.
Yeah, that was another surprise that really doesn't affect me because I haven't been playing these. But it's really neat that, because as you may or may not know, the Xbox team cares an awful lot about their backwards compatible titles and library. And they announced that available now, I think, these old Star Wars games on Xbox just got an update that adds all of the old DLC that they had. KOTOR, Republic Commando, Battlefront 1, and Battlefront 2. They all had DLC that you could just never have on your Xbox One because, those products don't exist in the Xbox store since, decades. And they just came out with a free update to all those that adds all that content back, which I think is really cool. Especially Battlefront 2, it adds a bunch of new maps and Kit Fisto and Asajj Ventress. But that's that. Yeah, it's just like a kind of a out of left field news item that was like, oh, that's really neat.
So there you go. I think that just about does it. How long have we been
there?
Going?
We've now talked about everything that matters from E3, including Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes, we did sneak that in, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we talked. We did name drop Cyberpunk a couple times.
Yep. Oh, we didn't mention Animal Crossing, but it got delayed. It got delayed talking about it just now.
I've honestly never ever played one of those before, so I have no idea like what the game's about or what the gameplay is or anything.
I think it's about trying to hit animals that are crossing the road. You're like some redneck in the Midwest, and he sees a rabbit and he swerves to try and hit it. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this one! Can't wait to go tell Mom."
That animal's crossing. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
No, that is not what it is.
It's like Frogger.
Reverse Frogger. You are trying to hit the frog. No, not accurate. But we appreciate
about animals who are dying, and they're kind of in that like they see the light. No, they're crossing over to the other.
Oh, the crossing over. Yeah. I thought you meant they were getting like last rites, and the priest is like making the sign of the cross over them. Yes.
It's about animals who are like in the mob, but they betray another guy in the mob, and he's been crossed. And it's kind of about that
the
act.
Sequel
And
is
it's about
Animal Double Crossing.
Yeah.
Oh,
there was a spin-off called Animal Flossing. I think that one didn't do very well.
But what about Animal Bossing? Where you just like a sheep that goes around telling people what to do.
Firing people.
Oh, wait. That was the movie Babe, but that was the pig who told the sheep what to do. That's Animal Bossing.
That should be Animal Farm, the game.
Oh, my gosh.
The pigs.
Like the book?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my gosh. Animal Farm, the game. This time, you're more equal than others. All right, well, thank you for staying with us until we devolved right at the end, dude. We held it together until the very, very, very end. But thank you, all the listeners. Thank you, patrons in chat, joining us on our descent into insanity. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everybody who makes this little world go round. We will catch you next time on the JodoCast.
You're welcome.